Religions are incredibly important to all of us. We all, at one time or another, have felt a draw to a particular religion or religious beliefs or practices that we've heard. But sometimes we also can feel repelled by some of the things, beliefs, actions that we see people taking in the name of religion. And so the question is religion completely poisoned and unsalvageable? Or is there a way that we can look at religion as something positive that does what we really want it to do without some of the negative connotations and associations that we've come to feel around it? And the answer is that religions and the religious paths and traditions are incredibly useful and important to us. They can be tremendous vehicles for our growth, but only if we understand them in the right way. We understand what they're here for and how they're here to serve us. No religion has a monopoly on the truth. Not a single one of them. No matter what your religion is or what your religious beliefs are, and even if you have none, you cannot possibly have the full picture of all that this universe is. We live in a nearly infinite universe. Spirit, or God, or the ground of being, or whatever you want to call it, is infinite beyond comprehension. And yet, each religion is only one set of practices and language and belief and people. There is no way that any one religion can encompass the totality of being. It's impossible, because they're each one, it can just represent a limited slice of all that could be said or all that could be experienced. And so if we can understand religions as something that are a vehicle that we can use to work our way towards higher and higher consciousness, then there's no problem. We don't have to see our religions as competing against one another. We can just simply say, well, this vehicle is one that works for me. It's serving me. It's like a car. I like this car. I bought this car because I need to do this, and it takes me here. And this person needs four-wheel drive because they live in a mountain. And this person needs a comfortable commuter car because they're in the city and they're in their car for 4 hours a day. And if we can understand that our religions are vehicles that are serving needs that we have, trying to take us where we want to go, but don't get caught up in, well, my car is the only car that belongs on the road, or I can't imagine why there would ever be a need for a 4x4 vehicle and those should be banned. If we can avoid that and have a tolerant and compassionate attitude towards our religions and our religious practices, they can serve us greatly. Ultimately, the true custodians of religion are not our leaders and the popes and the ministers and the church organizers and the priests. It's the mystics and the saints and the sages and the masters. These are the people who have actually experienced and practiced these teachings. They've gone into them deeply and fully. They don't just spout them, they feel them. They experience them. And the thing is that you can too. We can go below, scratch beneath the surface of the religions and find the deep kernel of truth that they lead us to if we simply allow them to do that, if we get deep enough into them, if we take them seriously and we practice them and we put a premium on experiencing these things for ourselves. The true basis of religion is intuitive experience, not merely beliefs. If you are not experiencing it inside yourself, then you simply don't know of what you're speaking. We must feel it inside ourselves. There are many saints out there who are illiterate and unknown, who are vastly higher in their consciousness and their spiritual advancement than our popes and ministers and religious leaders, and yet you've never heard of them. because they're concentrated on the inward rather than the outward. There's a famous saying in India: it is very good fortune to be born into a religion, but very bad fortune to die in one. Because being in a religion can help us. It can give us focus and direction and help us develop our deepest spiritual instincts. But at a certain point, we have to realize that once we've gotten to the destination where we were trying to go, the religious vehicle needs to fall away, not be clung to indefinitely, and certainly not to be held out as the one and only way that spiritual advancement could have been achieved. Ultimately, always remember, religions are vehicles here to serve us. We are not here to serve them.